Hey, friends and enemies, this is Alfred, the producer, editor, talent, coming to you with a difficult update before we get into the show. So this show is actually supposed to be 2 hours long, but wouldn't you know it, the computer ate my entire segment, the last 40 minutes of the show, from the whole thing. So that's gone. It's gone. Thankfully, we were able to resurrect the rest of the show, so you still get the rest of the show. I was going to talk about Kraven, and we also had a nice little chat about episode 7 of Daredevil. Those are going to have to be next week now. We're going to recreate those on next week's show when we do our full review for Daredevil Born Again. The last 2 episodes are now going to be the last 3 episodes, and I'll also talk about Kraven during my watch, play, read. When the show just comes to a weird, dramatic stop after we talk about Val Kilmer, it's because everything after that got fully eaten. Don't worry, you still have tons of great show here for you. Just enjoy us talking about some trailers and some stuff that we watched. It's real good. It's a good show.
Boys and girls, welcome to NerdPod Generations, episode 157. As always, I am one of your illustrious hosts, Steve Taylor, along with the lovely Al Judson. Hello, sir.
Hello, friends and enemies.
I am giddy about this episode, Al.
This is a big one. We're coming in with a lot of energy today.
And folks, this episode has taken a big turn from what we thought we were going to do.
Yeah. To the point where I had to make almost a full U-turn on my plan. I had to fully cancel my watch, play, read so that we could insert the segment that we wanted to do somewhere because everybody and their cousin and Nintendo had something to show us
this was a massive info drop this whole week, and we want to stay current, so we are going to do that. We will touch on, I know Moana 2 was one of the things we were going to talk about.
That got bumped because now Kraven needs a new home. We took Kraven's time slot.
Which, you don't need a lot of time on Kraven. We'll be able to get to the
I have some things that I definitely want to touch on.
Yes.
It's, spoiler alert, it's the best Sony Spider-Man movie.
Didn't I tell you?
Which doesn't mean anything in this circumstance.
But didn't I tell you?
You did.
I did. Okay, so folks, once again, NerdPod Generation episode 157 is your first time listening. Please go back and listen to our back catalog. You can find our back catalog at either Spotify or Apple Podcasts, and if you have a hard time finding it on either one of those sites, go to nerdpodgen.com. There are links to both. There are links to our separate projects, and you can read a little bit more about the two of us. There's also links to our YouTube channel where we do have some clips of older episodes, and trust me, some of the old episodes are pure gold. Please go back and listen to them. Especially, I still push this to this day. Listen to the Obi-Wan Kenobi TV show ones.
We have a playlist. Yeah. We have an Obi-Wan. We have an Oh No Obi-Wan.
Dude,
is the name of the playlist.
They're some of the best. We do start every episode, and we have such a meaty one of these today that we just got to get into it. Of watch, play, read. So, what have you been watching, playing, reading? Mm-hmm. I'm going to start today because the one thing that I have to talk about that's separate from everything else. I went with the family yesterday and saw the Minecraft movie.
How is it, Steve?
Okay, so I know that we're sick of saying this.
Yes.
But this movie was not made for me.
Yep.
It's not made for adults at all.
No.
I have seen some reviews of this movie that are baffling to me because I'm going to be quite honest, this is one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
It is brutally bad. It has, the kids loved it. There were a bunch of kids my son's age, a bunch of boys who had Minecraft blankets and sweatshirts who were going nuts because they just name-dropped all these things that happen in Minecraft. Jack Black is unbearable Jack Black. He sings 3 songs in the movie.
He has 3 songs?
What? Terrible. 3 songs in the movie. Jason Moana or
Jason Momoa. Jason Moana.
Jason Momoa. I will give credit. In a pile of turds, he's the least stinky part of it. he actually had a couple parts that you were like, okay, he's just hamming it up because he does play a video gamer who's like big into working out now, and he's failed at life. I mean, it is very much a larger size of Peter Dinklage from Pixels.
Yeah.
1,000%.
Yeah.
Minus the jail time.
He didn't go to jail. Yeah.
He didn't go to jail. But it is such a bad movie.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want anyone to ever see it. And if you see it and like it, I need you to write me a 2,000-word essay explaining why.
Defend yourself.
And you will get an F.
Yes.
Because there's nothing that can defend this movie. It is pure garbage of the eye and the ears. First off, the first, 40 minutes of it before you get into Minecraft world, well, it starts with an exposition drop of how Jack Black, his character, he plays Steve, gets to Minecraft and how the main storyline gets going. And then you go back to the real world that follows this boy and girl. The girl is older. She's like 18 or 19. And the boy is her brother. Her mother died. Their mother died. They don't have a dad. So they're moving to a town that Jack Black lived in before he went to Minecraft World, and Jason Momoa's character is in. And it's like a half hour of just building up who these people are.
Jesus
and it's like,
Christ.
But then you get to Minecraft World, and some of the, effects are okay, but it's just explosions in your eyes and ears. The acting is atrocious, like horrible. And I love Jack Black. This might be the worst thing he's ever done. That's how bad this is.
Every shot I've seen him in is bad. That shot where they have that in all the trailers, where Jason Momoa is going through all of his stuff, and he finds an ender pearl.
Yes.
And he's like, an ender pearl. And
that's how every line delivery is.
And he throws it behind him, and Jack Black is like, well, I only had one of those. It sounds like that's how it is, every line, and it's terrible. It sounds directed to death. I don't know if it's just Jack Black was here for a payday or...
No, because I think he really enjoyed it. Like, it looked like he was having fun, but he took the character of Jack Black and amped it to 11. Mm-hmm. And that's what you got in the movie.
Yeah. Well, I think that I've heard of this happening on other movies where it's just like, let me try and save this. Yeah. This is a turkey. I can smell the turkey in the oven. Let me try and save this.
And it has this weird... awful storyline. Jennifer Coolidge, is that her name, or Jessica Coolidge? Jennifer Coolidge.
Jennifer Coolidge.
Yeah. She plays the vice principal of the school that the younger brother goes to. For some odd reason, this is a separate storyline of the movie where she plays herself to an obnoxious level. And she keeps talking about her ex-husband and that she's divorced. And she keeps hitting on every guy. And one of the villagers comes through, and she hits him with the car. It's in the trailer. And they go out to dinner. And there's like multiple scenes. They keep going back to them at dinner. And the villager not saying anything. And her being just horrible. And the only saving grace of anything that made me smile in this movie is the post-credit scene. It's her and the villager, and her ex comes in, who is a teacher that you see in the movie, but you don't realize it's him. And the villager starts speaking, and it's Matthew Berry's voice.
Okay, that's funny.
But it wasn't, it was just hearing his voice made me go,
Yeah.
It's nothing he said.
No. The writing isn't it. It's the bit of it being Matthew Berry.
Matthew Berry. And it's, atrociously bad. I can't stress how bad this movie is. And I have found ways to enjoy these kiddie movies that are over the top, and they're, once again, not made specifically for us. But this one was just bad on a level. Mm-hmm. And the sad part is the kids loved it so much that I know this is going to make buckets of money because it's going against nothing. Snow White's already pretty much done.
Yeah.
And the number one movie last week was that A Working Man with Jason Statham. So it'll take that. It's going to be this massive
it'll be
hit.
number one.
And they'll make sequels.
Oh, yeah.
And I want to rip my eyes out. I never want to see this movie again. I know I'll have to at some point.
Oh, yeah. You're going to own
I never want to see the sequel. I know I'll have to at some point. And it makes me want to cry. And I feel bad for my son because I should never have taken him to see this movie, even though he really wants it because he loves Minecraft. Because this is the absolute epitome. I know we've said this before. This is the epitome of what's wrong with movies nowadays.
Yeah.
There was nothing good in this movie.
Well, we finally got away from this trope that had been dogging movies and adaptations of pop culture things for so long, of the Mario Brothers.
Yes.
It has to have part of it takes place in our world, and then they go to the place that we all actually wanted to go to, but you have to slog through 30 to 40 minutes of dumb exposition and garbage about people that you don't care about, because they have to be the people that go and find the world that we do care about.
Yes.
You don't have to do it. Not everything has to have a Bastion from Neverending Story reading along, okay? You can just do Atreyu.
Yeah.
You can just cut to Atreyu. You don't need to do all the other nonsense, okay?
Especially, like, my son, I read him this, there's like a 6-book series of, it's a Minecraft storyline, and it's about these kids who their teacher creates this virtual reality that when they put it on, they're in the Minecraft world, and another person has put on a VR and they're trying to take over Minecraft, and it's up to the kids to save it. That would have been awesome!
Something meta like that would have worked. If you worked like it was the actual game Minecraft.
Yes!
Then it's something. But doing this thing where nobody knows what Minecraft is, and then you wander into it, and now we have to go through all the rules of Minecraft. This is garbage. This is bad writing.
And it's quite literally, Jack Black wants to be a miner since he was a kid, and when he becomes an adult, he's finally old enough to get into the mine, and he's just mining for nothing, just to mine, and he finds, quite literally, the Tesseract. And the Tesseract, plus this gem case it goes in, when you put them together, it opens a portal to Minecraft. But it's like, even that basic story part, it's like, this is the dumbest.
Well, it's like in the animated Mario movie when they find a maze of pipes.
Yeah.
We don't need to do this. Nobody was telling you that Mario needed to be from Brooklyn.
Yeah.
There was a history before 1990 of the story of Mario, and afterwards they expanded on that history.
Yeah.
And in none of that history within the games is Brooklyn ever mentioned, because Mario isn't from Brooklyn. Nope. So I just think you gotta not do it.
It was that goddamn Captain Lou Albano TV show, the Mario Brothers, that they were in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, well, we got to do that. It's like that one stupid show that lasted like 2 seasons.
And because of that, his name is now Mario.
Yeah.
What are we fucking doing?
It's
You
so
don't
bad.
have to pay attention to this shit. Marvel writes off so much garbage.
Yes.
Nintendo is like, no, this is who Mario is. This is the necessary integral meat of who Mario is. No, it's fucking not. It was made up by some dumb Hollywood schlub who didn't understand anything. He heard Mario Brothers and he said, oh, so their last name is Mario?
Yeah.
And then there was a group laugh in the office, and then they said, we'll write it into the movie. And 20 years later, we're still dealing with that.
Yeah. And then we'll get Chris Pratt to do the voice.
Oh, my God.
But yeah, so Minecraft movie fucking sucked. I wasted $60 and 2 hours of my life. And my kids drank the biggest small slushies you've ever seen in your world. Now they probably got diabetes. And all that happened because of fucking Minecraft movie.
Yeah.
I hate that movie. It was awful. I can't say anything worse about it.
No, I mean, like, there wasn't... I'm not a Minecraft guy. No. I've never been a Minecraft guy. But it seems like, as an outsider, as someone who doesn't play the games, doesn't do anything, I've watched people play. I'm not, like, an idiot, but, like, I don't play the games myself. It seems like the whole point of it is kind of D&D-esque, where you have pure creativity. You just go out and do things.
Yep.
And in the world, there's a cause and effect. And if you want to go do this, you can. And if you want to go here, you can. And this, if you do this, it does this. And if you do this, it does this. There's not... This kid is having a hard time at school, and his sister is having a hard time keeping a job, and they're just really struggling and could really use a chance to just step out of our world into something else.
And the kid just happens to be an inventor genius. So when he goes to Minecraft, he can use his ingenuity to mind and
Or that
things.
could just be the nature of the story itself. You don't need to set it up. Like, you just don't. None of this is necessary. This is all dumb, and it wastes our time. It'd be like if the D&D movie when they're setting up Chris Pratt's character and explaining, or Chris
Pine's
Pine's character and explaining to us who he is. If instead, cut all that out, add 20 minutes onto that length, though. So you're getting rid of all of it, the 10 minutes in the movie. You're adding 20 minutes onto it. Now you have 30 minutes. And it's about how Chris Pine is a maladjusted bank insurer. And he's just really stuck in his ways. And he just really wishes him and his drinking buddies could go and do anything else.
Yep.
And then they all get drunk one night and it's a portal to D&D. Or just have it be in D&D.
Yeah.
Skip all that shit and just have it be there.
And to go along with that, there's another book series called Diary of a Minecraft Zombie, which is great. And it is literally that. There is a zombie in Minecraft, and the zombies actually can think, and one of them befriends, even though they're supposed to hate humans, they befriend Steve, and they go on these adventures. It's like, why couldn't you have done that?
And why did you have to have real people in this at all? Why isn't the whole thing just
It's
animated?
so bad.
I don't understand
it's
any of
so
these
bad.
decisions.
I wish you could have seen the look on my face when Jack Black started singing the first time.
Oh
I was
my
like,
God.
nope,
Well,
nope.
but
this is
Peaches, Steve.
Yes, that's what I was thinking.
Peaches
Yes.
was such a success.
It was such a success.
And you know what's a bigger success than just one song? Three songs.
So bad. So bad.
Let me remember now, Jack Black is a great songwriter, but usually do his songs appeal to a younger audience?
No.
Like,
I love the movie Tenacious D and the Pick of Destiny.
yeah.
That's far off.
Even one of his most recent hits, I fucking love video games.
Yes.
Because I'm going to play this for my child.
Yeah.
I'm not saying don't give Jack Black songs. I'm saying think really hard about everything that you're doing and try and figure out if this is even something that's going to be on the table when you rewrite the whole thing.
Yeah.
After you should realize how bad an idea this is. This is just bad idea strung to bad idea strung to bad idea.
Yeah. It's so bad. It's so bad. So this is going to be a good transition, though, because now we have 4 trailers to talk about. And one that was at the show, Superman. So it's kind of it's like a clip.
Yes.
And then a trailer.
And then a trailer.
But the clip is just an extended part of the first trailer, which shows Krypto.
Yeah.
I'm torn on this one.
I'm not.
Okay. I hate the humor.
Yeah.
It's bad.
Yeah.
But I love how Nicholas Hoult looks.
That's fine.
And there's a couple of the action scenes, like when he saves the girl, that looks cool, but I can't get past, we're robots and we don't need to be thanked and all that. Oh, and this is 16. She's new. Oh, he smiled. I was like, what is going on?
This sucks.
And why does the Fortress of Solitude have to come out of the ground every time?
So does the Fortress of Solitude exist underground? This was my exact thought. He says, take me home, first and foremost. I want to just bring up the fact I don't know who the villain is in this. Lots of things can happen to Soups to put him in a bad situation.
One alien they keep showing looks like Zoran from... or no, what's the...
Starro?
No, what's the guy from Power Rangers?
Yeah, Zordon.
Zordon. It looks like Zordon from the movie, like the recent Power Rangers
2017 movie, yeah.
I'm like, is that Bryan Cranston? Or did they put Zordon in?
Well, so I have so many questions. First and foremost, I'm not saying this can't happen, but I'm saying Soups needs to get hit pretty bad to have a collapsed lung.
Yeah.
So I just have a lot of questions as to what happened. You know, because it'd be one thing if he had been stabbed with kryptonite, but usually you can see a wound or something that would show. If he gets hit with kryptonite and flies miles away, he stands up and he's like, oh, that hurt. As long as the kryptonite's not within the immediate, I'll give you 2 miles. Even though that's ridiculous and insane.
Yeah.
So what happened that Soups is unable to pick himself up and fly what looked to be about 200 yards to the Fortress of Solitude? The whole thing with Krypto playing with him is fine, except that Krypto is a CGI dog.
Yeah, and it's not fine because it's like, dude, obviously this is a serious moment.
Yeah.
And you're going to play, the dog's playing with him, but it hurts. I was like, what the fuck?
Oh, Lassie got it. Lassie better save him. And then you have the robot. The robot thing really
pissed me off.
The robot was terrible. Because the robot thing is the epitome of what is wrong with James Gunn's writing.
Yes.
He'll tell you something is a certain way and then immediately throw that out.
Yes.
I'm a robot. I don't need your thanks because I can't appreciate it because I don't have emotion. Yes. Now, let me introduce you to this other robot, which is for some reason female presenting, and have her exude an emotion. a distinctly female emotion. Yes. So wait, I'm confused.
And get me wrong, in everything I've ever seen of Superman, because he does have
robots. He has robots.
But they refer to him as Kal-El.
Kal-El.
Not Superman.
No.
That was the first thing where I'm like, why the fuck are they calling him Superman?
No, they would call him Kal-El.
They would call him Kal-El. That's his fucking name.
They're Kryptonian robots.
Yes.
They're not robots. He built them using Kryptonian plants.
Yes.
He didn't invent them.
Yes.
He went on his computer and downloaded the 3D print module from Krypton that made robots for him.
And the only thing I'm hoping this would make it worse, even though they might course correct it, I'm hoping that in the movie they don't call him Kal-El and they dumbed it down in the trailer just so people who are watching it are like, who the fuck is Kal-El?
But they should say Kal-El.
They should.
Because that's going to get the genuine fans excited.
Exactly. But I'm like, why the fuck would they call him that?
I'm not going to give this to them because it's fucking dumb. You know what also is fucking dumb? Hey, Steve, how often have we seen Soups get just the shit beat out of him?
Lots.
You remember that time he had literally all of the life force drained out of him and he was just skin and bones? Or how about this? When the Flash goes back in time and resets the timeline and Superman is locked in a red room for the entirety of his life and so he has no powers. And he's just literally skin and bones.
Yes.
When he walks out into the sun and starts absorbing light, does he go, oh! Oh!
No.
Ah! No, he doesn't.
Yeah.
Because Superman sunbathes like a Southern California.
Yes.
Okay? He sits there and he basks in it like a warm shower.
Yeah.
He's just sitting there like, oh, thank you. Oh, I'm feeling better.
And even I still like parts of this movie, but even Superman Returns, when Brandon Routh Superman is near death and they pull the kryptonite out of him, he just flies up.
Yeah.
Like puts his arms out, absorbs the sun, and then goes and kicks ass.
Because that's what he does in literally every version of Superman.
So even they got it right in one of the worst versions, and they still fucking got it right in that one.
This is incredible to me. I've never seen Superman be in pain from sunshine.
No.
It's outrageous. Oh, but Steve, this is highly concentrated, magnified sunshine. Oh, it's definitely hurting him. No, it's fucking not.
No.
It's Superman. And then you're going to continue to show me this awful wig. This terrible wig you put on Nathan Fillion to play Guy Gardner, not Hal Jordan, and you're just pissing me off now. Now you're just doing this to piss me right off.
I don't get the wig.
What the fuck is this?
It is the worst.
It's not even a Guy Gardner thing.
No.
Maybe back when he was originally created, but there have been so many versions of Guy Gardner that I've seen that have the high and tight.
Yeah.
Do that. That would still look ridiculous, but also don't do Guy Gardner. Do Hal fucking Jordan.
Yeah.
You have Nathan Fillion playing a Green Lantern. Have him just be Hal fucking Jordan.
Like he is in every animated movie. He voices
every animated movie.
Literally every, and he does an amazing job.
An incredible job.
Justice League Doom, he was Hal in that, wasn't he?
Justice League Doom, he was.
He was Hal Jordan.
In Justice League War,
he wasn't. Yes.
But he takes over for that character. I think he's also in Flashpoint.
He is in Flashpoint, yeah.
He's an incredible Hal Jordan. He's been Hal Jordan so many fucking times, way more than anybody else. How in the world do you have him playing a Green Lantern that's not Hal Jordan?
Yeah.
This is insane. This is what crazy people do. This is the cinematic version of edging.
Yeah.
Like, what are we fucking doing? You're going to give me everything and then make it mean nothing.
I'm so nervous.
And, like, here's my thing. When I walked away from this trailer, first off, I saw so much more bad than good. There's really nothing.
Well, it's pretty much the same recycled old trailer, just with that clip in the beginning.
With a new clip that made everything worse. The clip is awful.
Terrible.
The clip is atrocious. It's incredibly bad. Let's look at James Gunn's superhero films.
Yes.
We can talk about Slither and other things, but let's specifically look at Guardians as a whole piece.
Yes.
Guardians 1 is good. But it also rides some easy layups.
Yes.
Rocket Raccoon, Groot, a pre-douchebag Chris Pratt.
And a sort of correct Batista as
Drax the Destroyer is as close as we're going to have him be to Drax.
We don't have Mantis fucked up yet.
Mantis isn't fucked up. Gamora's good. Yep. They kind of ruined Nebula. They kind of ruined Yondu. They kind of definitely ruined Ronan the Accuser.
Oh, Ronan, yes.
Absolutely tragedy what they've done to Ronan the Accuser. The soundtrack is great.
Yes.
That also lifts everything up. After that,
Garbage.
Point to any of the Guardians movies that are decent.
Garbage.
The holiday special. It's all bad. He did all of it.
Yeah.
He had his hands on all of it. And say what you will about his fallout with Disney, by the time he came back and did Guardians 3, they weren't holding him back. They said, you do whatever you want to do.
See, my only hope was, because I know you're kind of not a huge fan of it. I did like Suicide Squad, and I loved Peacemaker. So
I like Peacemaker a lot.
was hoping.
Yeah.
And I've rewatched it recently, and it's so great. It's just really great. It's
Here's
a great
my
show.
thing. The tones are wrong. He can do Peacemaker. That is not the same tone as Superman.
No.
That's an entirely different tone and style. It's Zack Snyder doing Batman. This is wrong.
Yeah, that's true.
This
That's
is
true.
You have a style. You do Watchmen. That's right in your wheelhouse. You do Batman or Superman.
It's
this
garbage.
is a distinct, different feel
Yes.
to the characters. And when you make them your vision of those characters, you worsen them because they don't fit your world, your view, your color correction, whatever you want to refer to it as. It doesn't fit the mold. And so you jam Batman into the Zack Snyder mold. And to do that, he now uses guns and kills people. Well, that fucking sucks because it's antithetical to Batman. You didn't make Batman.
Yeah.
You made some new version that might as well be on The Boys. This is what Batman would be like in the real world. Blah, 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 blah. That's not why I came to watch this, jackass. You know? I don't want you sitting here thinking that you're smarter than, 90 years of fucking history.
Yeah.
And I just feel like James Gunn is on that same path of like, I can make a Superman. I love Superman. He's one of my favorite characters, but he's just not going to get the point.
And that's the sad thing is, going back to Superman Returns, that movie had a lot of faults, but they kind of got the tone right.
They knew what they wanted to do.
They got Superman, I think, right. They got Clark Kent right. They got the tone of the movie right. They just got the villain wrong. They got the story wrong. It was kind of boring. And they got a bunch wrong that way.
Yeah.
But the tone was right.
Yeah.
So, because they were smart enough to look at the Christopher Reeve Superman and be like, okay, that is what we got to go off of. We're not going to duplicate it. Well, they did duplicate a little too much, but we're not going to duplicate it. And that's what James Gunn should have done. Like, look, it's not goofy. It has humor.
Humor's great.
It has humor, but it's not goofy.
Just like, it's not like Superman can't, fucking whip ass.
Yeah.
Some of my favorite movies have Superman just whipping ass.
Yeah.
You have to get there. You have to do it the right way. I don't know, have you ever seen, I think it's Superman versus the Five or something, I can't remember what it is, but it's like you have a guy with a Union Jack and these four superhumans, and they come in and they start killing villains. And it's that whole question of, is this a better way to do things? Because they're saving people's lives and they're doing it their way, but they're killing people, but ultimately they're bad people that they're killing, so it's not that big a deal. And Superman gets downtrodden and, basically thrown out on his ass for being too light and too lenient. They go and they fight on the moon, and Superman seemingly kills the entire team of them. And it's only revealed at the very end when the leader is on his knees begging for mercy that, of course he didn't. He's Superman.
Yeah.
So he made it look like he did, but, he's fucking Superman.
Yeah.
So of course he didn't. But he wanted you to think that he had. And we as an audience are kind of appalled and shocked. And then we see that it's, of course, fucking Superman. But because we built to there, we got there organically. I don't know that that's going to happen here. I think James Gunn is going to come in and say, my version of Superman is this, and this is what we're going to go with. And it's just not going to feel right.
No. I'm nervous.
Yeah.
I'm very nervous. Okay, so number 2 is The Naked Gun.
Now, I will fully admit, I have not watched a single full Naked Gun movie.
Okay,
I've seen many, many clips, but I've never watched a full top-to-bottom Naked Gun.
So not
movie.
only have I seen all 3, but I've seen the entire original series of Police Squad, the Naked, because that's where The Naked Gun was based off of. So I know you had asked before, you're like, you don't quite get the
Liam Neeson
thing. I think the reason they went Liam Neeson is when they made Leslie Nielsen, which the names are so close.
I know.
When they made Leslie Nielsen, Frank Drebin in the original Naked or Police Squad series, he was a serious actor.
He was.
He had done Airplane, but that was it.
Yeah.
But he was a serious actor, and then they made him, and that kind of played. That's what made it funny. Is you have this really serious actor just being goofy.
See, I have a feeling that it's. I have a feeling it's two things. One, the idea of he's so serious, he's so dark, we're going to have him play against type. Two, I genuinely think there's probably going to be a joke about Liam Neeson and Leslie Nielsen.
Could be.
I think that's because they already point to the camera at one point in the trailer. At the O.J. Simpson call out, the officer looks into camera and he's like, meh.
Yeah.
So this is going to be extremely tongue in cheek, which it should be because it's a Naked Gun movie.
And also, I know, Seth MacFarlane we talked about is one of the producers, and I know he has talked about one of his favorite things ever was. Did you ever see Ted 2?
No.
So in Ted 2, Ted works at a grocery store.
I've seen the clip with Liam Neeson in it.
And it's really
Are these
funny.
actually just for kids?
Yes, and then he comes back later, and it's like the box is all broken up, and he's all bruised. He really has a hard on for Leslie Nielsen, or not Leslie. See, I just did it right there, Liam Neeson. So I wouldn't be shocked.
Well, he was in A Million Ways to Die in the West.
Yes,
and so like it makes sense that he would bring him in. I get it. I just think like he's so old. He is so old.
He is.
Just the
But
idea...
I'll be honest, he's old, but, you know, him almost naked in that schoolgirl outfit.
That was rough.
He
I don't know.
kind of looks still like, it's like, all right, he still looks like he could kick some ass.
Oh,
though.
I'm not worried about that. I'm worried about just like, I'm looking at him and I'm just like, this is our lead. This old wrinkled leather husk is our lead. Okay. I don't know. So I'm not saying it's not going to work. I really can't have an opinion on this because I don't know anything about it, but I'll give my opinion as I gave it to Kelly. I came away from this feeling like I had just looked at Liam Neeson's balls.
You did. In heart underwear or tidy whities.
This is what I'm saying. Not great, Mike. Not great.
See, I agreed with you. I didn't know what to make of this trailer, but as I said, the very end of it, so it shows all of the new characters kneeling down in front of the pictures of all of the ones from the original movie, and they were all their kids.
Paul Waller-Hauser as the one is going to be the side cop.
Yes.
I think that's good. That
could be really
looks
funny.
good.
But it gets to the last picture, and it's O.J. Simpson, and his son looks at the camera and just shakes his head. I was laughing so fucking hard at that scene. So I have hope.
Yeah.
Like, more than Superman. Superman, I'm nervous. This one, I have hope.
I have no stakes in this game, but I will also probably not see it for that exact same reason.
Well, I would recommend, if not, I would almost say try to look up some of the old...
I should watch the original Naked Gun.
Well, the original Naked Gun, the first movie's awesome.
Yeah.
Second, third, they're good. They get a little over the rails. But the original series is also really fucking funny. And they actually kind of reuse some of the jokes in the movie, so maybe I wouldn't watch the series, I'd just watch the movies. The first Naked Gun is spectacular.
Well, there's a reason why they made 2 sequels.
Yeah.
And it was enough of a success to not become Police Academy, which had too many sequels.
Yeah, after 4, it just went down.
You got to walk away after a certain
I
point.
actually saw Police Academy 4 in the theater.
Lucky you.
I love that. I love that movie.
Kelly's met Steve Guttenberg.
Oh my God, you're kidding me. The Goot? Oh, I would love fucking Steve Guttenberg.
Met him on the Amtrak.
Oh my God. I when I was growing up, Steve Guttenberg was the shit. 3 Men and a Baby. I mean, come on now. Steve Guttenberg.
Really, really lovely.
Oh,
Very sweet.
that makes me happy to hear. Because I love Steve Guttenberg.
She's met 3 of your heroes because she's met Shatner, Guttenberg, and Lin-Manuel Miranda.
That's true.
Yeah.
Which we'll talk about that with Moana 2 next week.
We'll get to that.
So now we got to move on to the one that dropped yesterday that completely caught me off guard.
This is like a flash in the pan. This
I
is
knew
almost
they
not
were
a trailer.
making Tron Ares.
Oh, Tron Ares. I thought we were going to talk about Strange
No,
New Worlds.
that's the final one. That's
Okay.
the
king.
that's the cherry on top.
Yeah.
Tron Ares.
Oh
looks
my God.
so fucking awesome.
This looks great.
Dude, the motorcycle's cutting the cop car in half with the light
dope.
trail.
That was dope.
Dude.
That was so cool. I mean, like, we started this with talking about Minecraft, which has big pixel energy.
Yes.
This has big pixel, but it's not a comedy energy.
No.
And I am very interested in this.
And this is kind of like, I love Tron Legacy, but I can understand some of the criticisms of that is they tried to get a little too artsy with the world.
I like the artistic value of it. The thing that I always got stuck on was you can't have 3 Jeff Bridges.
And the de-aging was horrible.
That's what I'm saying.
That's still
you
the
can't
worst
have
in
3
everything.
Jeff
You can't have
Bridges.
that.
You have the one at the beginning that's de-aged. You have old Jeff
Clue,
Bridges,
and then you have Clue.
And then you have Clue. And you pick one. You
Yeah.
get one.
But the de-aging was still
bad.
so bad.
Real bad.
I wish that Disney, all the fucking around they like doing with their movies, fix the de-aging in that
That's
movie
what they
and
should
put it
do.
out.
They should stop making movies
Yes.
for a year and just start re-releasing movies with better updated
Because
graphics.
quite literally, if they just fixed the de-aging in that movie, it would be close to a perfect movie.
It still has the most ripping soundtrack.
Oh, dude. And this one with Nine Inch Nails? Holy shit, the trailer. I'm like, dude, that's fucking rocking.
I want to check this out. I told you this before the show. The only thing that made me be like, oh, I don't know about it anymore. I was so excited. I was ready to walk out into traffic, and then I saw Jared Leto, and I was like, oh, maybe you know what?
See, I knew he was the lead in this.
I don't like him as the lead.
He's the character Ares. So he's obviously the...
I hope he's the villain. If he's the villain, he plays villains better than protagonists.
They kind of make him look like the hero, though, in this.
I don't know. I'm very curious. I was hoping that What's-His-Nuts Sam from Legacy would be back.
I don't... He might be.
He might be.
Like, the thing I appreciated about this trailer is they didn't show a lot.
No, they didn't.
They
showed
just
us
showed
extremely
some
little.
fucking awesome.
Yeah.
And then at the end with the ships coming out and, oh my God, like oh, it looked so amazing. And I think like the tone is exactly what you said. It looks dark.
It looks dark.
Holy fuck.
It looks edgy. It looks dark. It looks fun.
I have goosebumps now thinking about it.
I'm really interested in this.
I was shocked.
Because I agree with you. Tron Legacy is a quiet, it's what I refer to as a dollar theater movie or a second run movie. It's not necessarily like an amazing, you got to go out and see it, but it's so fun. Yeah. You can use an hour and a half in worse ways than watching this.
See, and that's the thing, and this is kind of goes with what you were talking about with Naked Gun. I have that backstory of seeing Tron when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And every kid Tron was the most amazing thing you've ever seen in your life.
Yeah.
And I still love that movie. And like thinking about how they pulled off those special effects is still
These
quite
special
incredible.
Effects are incredible.
Really incredible.
They're
and the
really,
story's
really
great too.
Yeah.
So to me, Tron Legacy is like an A-tier movie just because it was the sequel to this great thing. But this, man, if they can pull this off, holy shit.
I'm really interested. I'm a little nervous because Tron stuff has such a tumultuous history.
It does.
Because you had, obviously, the original. Legacy didn't have big money, but had a cult following. And then the series with Elijah Wood, nobody watched it.
I even forgot about that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then Disney took that and said, well, Tron, nobody cares about Tron. And they threw it in the dumpster.
Well, and because they never really, like, honestly, when Tron Legacy was coming out, they didn't push re-release the first Tron in theaters. Like, do something. Yeah. I remember the promotion for that movie was dog shit.
Yeah.
It was like, okay, we know this is a second-tier property that only a certain amount of people like, so we're not going to really push it. It's like,
yeah.
I still remember, and I looked it up. You can look it up on YouTube. Comic-Con, they did a like kind of pieced together little trailer for, and it was just called Tron 2 then. No, I think it did say Tron Legacy. The crowd quite literally had the biggest nerdgasm I've ever heard, especially because at first it's like you see the world, but you don't really know what it is, but then you see the light cycle, and you can hear everyone go nuts. And then they show Jeff Bridges, and everyone lost their shit.
Yeah.
And it was like, how do you not promote the living shit out? And they never really promoted Tron Legacy that well.
No, they don't have faith in it as a property. They hear people say, really, they made another Tron, and they think that's the majority of people.
Yeah.
And so, it's a self-fulfilling prophecy, because if they stopped acting like that was how everybody approached Tron, people wouldn't approach Tron that way.
And quite literally, the number one ride at the Magic Kingdom in Disneyland is fucking Tron.
Yeah.
It's a light cycle roller coaster. There were lines for hours to get in on that fucking roller coaster.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, everyone knows what fucking Tron is. I have my Flynn shirt. One of the only things I got at Disney World is I got a Flynn's Arcade t-shirt that I fucking love. It's like, dude, this is a property of yours. Push it.
Do it. Just you're so eager to bring back things like Snow White and other just like quote unquote legacies that need to be brought back. Stitch, Lilo and Stitch.
Yeah.
I hope Lilo and Stitch bombs and leaves a crater like the fucking comet that hit the earth and killed the dinosaurs.
I agree.
Like Disney, after the failure of Snow White, is putting a pause on the live-action Tangled remake. Thank God.
Yeah.
Everything about the Stitch movie looks terrible. Yeah. It all looks bad. Left is bad, right is bad, the whole thing is bad. I can't understand.
Same with the live-action Moana. I mean, the little things I've heard about it, it's like, why?
Yeah. I just don't understand this. It doesn't make any sense to me. it feels outrageously forced.
Yeah.
And I always go back to, there's this great meme. It's the Iron Giant, and he's sitting in the junkyard. And the beatnik who runs the junkyard is saying there's two piles, art and junk. And under art are all the classic Disneys.
Yeah.
And under junk is stuff like Brother Bear and Atlantis and The Emperor's New Groove and Hunchback of Notre Dame and these things that aren't bad but nobody cared about. Treasure Planet.
Yeah.
If you're gonna remake anything, take it from the junk pile. What do you have in your mouth right now? And you cut to the Iron Giant and he's chewing on Stitch. That's where they are. They're just like, we're just only going to take the stuff that we knew was good and we're going to ruin it.
And it's funny you brought that up because at Regal is where we saw it. You know how they have like the roller coaster showing all the popcorn?
Yeah.
Stitch is on there. The new Stitch. And he's riding it. And I'm like, you could have turned that into a light cycle. Yeah. Because once again, the thing about Tron is this is an original story in one of your universes. The thing we have been saying. And you can't tell me, because I heard the kids that were there to see Minecraft going, what is that? Like, they were blown away by the light cycles. And it's like, to me, I'm like, why not make like a Tron video game before the movie comes out?
Why has there not been a Tron video game since the first Tron video game?
A light cycle racing game? Are you fucking kidding me?
The entire movie is premised on being in a game, and you've never made another game since. That's what crazy people do.
It's so fucking dumb. So, I'm very excited for it, but let's finish this.
Yes.
Holy shit. Okay, so they dropped the trailer for Season 3 of Strange New Worlds.
It's finally coming.
Jesus Christ, I shit my pants.
It feels like it's been so long since Strange New Worlds Season 2.
It looks so good.
I'm really excited for this.
So good.
This looks like it has that mix-up that we love from Strange New Worlds of dark comedy. Dark comedy. The trailer admittedly shows more comedy than dark.
Yes.
So I'll be very interested to see, is this a holodeck episode that's a murder mystery? Is this something else? They mention altered reality.
Yeah.
So I'm very curious. The rewiring of the Enterprise looks interesting. I'm curious to see what that all is. I do feel like we didn't see much of the darker storylines. We saw a Gorn, and we saw Pike in his chair looking serious.
Yeah.
But that was really all we saw.
Well, and I think that the reason is there was a lot of energy in this trailer.
Oh, a ton of energy.
And so that's why I think they kept, there was a lot of scenes that looked lighter because their heavy shit is fucking heavy.
It's really heavy.
Yeah, I don't want to see that in a trailer. That'll depress me.
But I will also say they did the thing that I find, if it's done well, I enjoy it. If it's done annoyingly, I find it obnoxious. Where they're like, do you think a show like this comes around every once in a while? We gotta hurry. Ugh.
Yeah, that was kind of
what
cliche.
are you? This is the commercial that you play during the NFL. I hate that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Everything else about this I love. Don't do that.
But and the thing that got me is our issue we have with all the Star Wars shows. The special effects look fucking amazing in this. All the space battles and the light and the phaser fights and stuff.
Yeah.
And the Klingons. I'm like, what the fuck? This looks
Scotty's
so good.
a full member of the crew now.
Dude, seeing Kirk saying, Scotty, you and I were, I'm like, oh my God, this is amazing.
This is going to be great.
I really hope that that's what they're setting this up for, is just rolling into rebooting the OG series, like Strange New Worlds becomes Star Trek.
I'm genuinely curious because it does seem like, from certain angles, Paramount is winding the Star Trek machine down just a little. They had all the Star Trek property they were cranking out, and now it feels like, okay, so we have this Michelle Yeoh spin-off show, and we're not doing any other Star Trek right now. That's the only Star Trek in the tank right now, which is fine, but between Lower Decks going away and the other, what was it? It's Prodigy being taken down. It's like, okay, so we're not going to be cranking out Star Trek material anymore, because I get it. We had Picard and Discovery and Lower Decks and Strange New Worlds and Prodigy, and it was like, oh wow, we have a lot of Star Trek properties all of a sudden. I hope that this is a tampering and not them shuttering, because that's my one concern is, will we actually get to Star Trek transition point? Or are they going to stop making Star Treks for a little while before we get there?
Well, and I think something that they desperately need to do is they got to get this off Paramount Plus. No one watched Paramount Plus. It's a joke that Paramount Plus is a thing.
I've started buying stuff so I don't have to get Paramount Plus.
Exactly. And they need to put this either on Netflix or they need to put it on was it 10?
It should just be on CBS.
Yeah, it's got to be on CBS.
It just has to be on CBS.
Just put it on fucking...
It should be on Thursday nights. I should be programming...
so much dog shit TV right now.
For work, I should be programming stuff for Strange New Worlds after, Fire Country and fucking The Neighborhood and all these other dumbass CBS shows. George and Mary's First Marriage or whatever the fuck that show is called.
But even, put it on 8 o'clock Thursday nights. And you can't tell me families wouldn't.
Families would
that.
Totally watch this.
Dude, there are some darker moments for the kids, but it's freaking awesome.
Well, and that didn't stop us from watching fucking Next Gen.
That's true.
When Next Gen was on, and Lieutenant Barkley is turning everybody into animals.
That's true.
We're not like, oh, we can't watch this.
And Data and Yar are fucking. So you put all that together. But yeah, no, I really hope they do that eventually because it needs viewership. Because I keep telling anyone I've talked to who have seen the show says it is the greatest fucking show. And then the people who 99% of the people in this world have not seen the show.
No, they don't know anything about it.
And I'm like, dude,
why does CBS keep it under a bushel? This should be part of their regular lineup, but they don't think it's ready for prime time.
I don't get that.
It should be do you remember? One of the things that might be scaring CBS off, do you remember Under the Dome?
Oh, yeah.
Where Under the Dome was on Paramount. It was one of their big tent poles when they first launched Paramount. And then they started releasing it 6 months later on CBS. Do that with Picard. Do that with Strange New Worlds. Picard, I get it. It's a little HBO style.
It's got some swears.
So you might have to edit it or change it a little bit. But Strange New Worlds is ready for TV. Yeah. It has commercial breaks in it, for fuck's sake.
And quite literally, their biggest show they did this to, and it's a big success, which is Yellowstone. They put that on broadcast TV, and people are fucking loving it.
Exactly.
There you go, man.
I don't fucking get it. You got a winner.
There's still that push against sci-fi, which I don't get.
No.
I don't fucking get it.
But then this is the thing. You can push against sci-fi, but if you have a premier Star Trek property, people look at that. Because again, it's not like, Next Gen to Voyager to Enterprise to Deep Space Nine. So by the time you get to Deep Space Nine, it's only the real hardcores are hanging on at this point. There hasn't been a solid Star Trek show since Discovery, and that was very mid to a lot of people. Yeah. So now you have one that actually stars the original group.
And really on broadcast, it was Voyager, I think was the last one that was solid on broadcast TV, because then it went to Enterprise, which was middling. But then after that, everything has been on streaming.
Yeah.
So it's
I think Deep Space Nine was on Fox at some point.
Yeah.
But
Voyager was after Deep Space.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought Voyager was before.
Because Deep Space connected directly with the Next Generation. Because the guy that ran Cisco that ran the Deep Space Nine was part of the attack on the Borg cube when Picard was Locutus. And so that kind of branched into... That's why Worf was on...
Because I knew that some people had crossed over. Because I think Riker is on Deep Space at some point.
He had a cameo, but the God, I can't think of his name. The guy that was the engineer on... The Scottish engineer, not Scotty, but the Scottish engineer that was
that guy.
I can't think of his name.
Or whatever.
Yeah, Cole Meany. But he was a major person on Deep Space Nine.
I thought he was on Voyager. See, this is the problem.
Yeah, that's a problem. But so Strange New World looks great.
You won't have that problem, CBS, because there hasn't been a Star Trek that anybody cared about since the Kelvin universe. Yeah. And nobody knows what I mean when I say the Kelvin universe.
Fuck you, J.J. Abrams.
So that's what I'm saying. This is a great opportunity. Fucking take it.
I wish they do it. Because once again, they have it set up to branch into rebooting the old series with Spock and Kirk and all. It's it's so set up, and the actors are perfect, and they're fucking awesome.
Put Lower Decks on, too. Do the whole thing. Why the fuck not?
Absolutely.
Why the fuck not?
Absolutely.
What are we doing? You have it. Do it.
Yeah.
I don't get it. I don't get this.
All right. So now we got to talk about the other huge thing, Switch 2.
Switch 2.
So it was revealed on, was it Tuesday? No, Wednesday. Switch 2 was revealed on Wednesday. Okay. I have a lot of feels for this.
This is a difficult one. This is complicated.
So I have to start with, even before, because they did the direct and they didn't say the price.
No.
So during the direct, I went off of just what I was seeing.
Yeah.
nothing, I am going to be quite honest, absolutely nothing blew my socks off.
I think that there were elements that I really liked, but even the stuff that I loved, I wasn't like gobsmacked by.
Yeah.
There were things that I was like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
But I think that was as high as I got. I think the most excited I got was when they said that they were going to start releasing GameCube games on Switch too.
See, that was too, but then to me, I'm like, but that's their cheap way of not putting the Wind Waker HD out. Because like, oh, Wind Waker's... It's like, no, motherfucker. No one wants the old Wind Waker. We want the HD one because it's full screen and it has the upgrades to...
You don't think that they're going to release the HD copy?
I don't... Like, they keep putting it off. They went 8 years with the
But I
Switch
mean, when they
without
do
doing
the
it.
GameCube one, you don't think that they're going to put the HD remake on it? Because I don't think that they're going to put the original port on it. I think
No, it's the original port.
It's the full original.
Oh, absolutely.
Because Wind Waker had to be edited in post because it was too hard to move around.
Yeah.
People complained all the time about how long it took to sail from one point to
fast
another.
sails.
And so they changed the map when they did the re-release for the
Yes.
HD remaster. So that's what I'm wondering about is if they're going to do that.
Every old game they've put in the online, not one of them has had the upgrades.
But not a lot of them have upgrades. Like Diddy
Not a lot
Kong's
of them
Quest
do.
doesn't
No.
have another version.
But like just by showing that it's in the what's the box mode called?
I can't remember.
I can't remember.
Yeah, Virtual
But
Boy or
it's,
something.
It's not having the when you don't have like the full letterbox version and all that. It's like it looks like they're just uploading the ROMs.
See, I hope not, because if that's the case, then that's just lazy. You got to be better than
That's
that.
what Nintendo does with these old games because they know people see GameCube and they're like, I got excited when I first saw the Virtual Console stuff, and then I went back to play them. I'm like, the only one I really played a lot of was the GameCube or the Game Boy Tetris.
See,
Just because I grew up with that.
I played a lot of the Super Nintendo games, but I think that's the point. Is I think you play the stuff that you grew up with.
Yeah.
Because that was the stuff that I grew up with. That's why that excited me, because I grew up playing Soul Calibur 2. And they're like, we're bringing back Soul Calibur 2 with Link. And I'm like, fuck yeah, this is the one that I love. Let's fucking go. This will be great.
I don't know. I once again, I think I'm just...
My thing is just that I was not wowed by anything that they released.
Dude.
There were a lot of elements that I kind of rolled my eyes at. The Mario Kart stuff was good. I think that was a great way to start.
But the problem they have with that is Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is so fucking good.
But I like what they've done to try and build on that. This
Yeah.
idea of having friends mode where you can kind of drive around the maps instead of just racing, and you can kind of have parties and these kind of things.
That is-
I like this. I like this element. I like that you drive from track to track. I think that's
Do you like
really
it
smart.
$80 worth though, Al?
This is the thing. Is that after that, everything kind of rolled downhill. Because we got a little uptick when they did Hyrule Warriors, The Imprisoning War, which they're not calling The Imprisoning War, but they should. That looked great. I'm super pumped about that.
Yes.
A prequel to Tears of the Kingdom made by Koei as a Warriors game. Let's fucking go. That looks great. I'm excited as hell for that. Everything with the chat function, everything with the camera, everything.
Why would they put that on? Because the images looked like
awful
when you were doing the chat on the 3DS.
Yeah.
Why would you put that in your fucking direct?
Credit to them, they gave the honest look of what it's going to look like, but God knows, maybe it's going to look even worse than that.
Dude, that's so terrible.
Yeah.
And then, honestly, why show third-party games? They looked horrible.
And it was a lot of third-party games.
But, like, even the Elden Ring. Oh, we got Elden Ring. I'm like, that looks terrible.
You're still not going to be able to compete with
Not
Xbox
even close.
and PS5.
Not even close.
But now you're going to market their share price.
Yeah.
Which is like, I don't know, guys. I'm not saying you can't do it, but I'm saying $600 for the console and $100 per game is a lot.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Well, and what this reminded me of, and what I think everyone that was gaga over the third-party games forgot, the Wii U launch.
Mm-hmm.
They showed all of these old third-party games that are like, look at what we got. Batman Arkham City, Rearmed. What was it? The one where you're hacking thing. Watch Dogs.
Yes.
And they're showing all these games, and it's like, okay, but they look shittier than the Xbox 360 one, which came out long before the fucking Wii U.
Yeah.
And these ones, all like Cyberpunk and all that, they look like shit.
My reaction was, oh, so now Cyberpunk's not going to work on my Switch.
Yeah.
Great. Awesome. I don't understand this. Like, it feels almost like the bloatware methods that they used for the Wii.
Yeah.
Where it's just like, we're going to have so many games that it seems like you can play anything. But, as I told Kelly when they revealed that they're going to have Madden, I have not bought a Madden on a Nintendo system since the GameCube with a very good reason. They are always bad.
Yep.
They are always universally reviewed poorer
Yep.
when they're the Nintendo port, whether it's because the graphics are worse or because there's now motion capture in it or motion sensing and stuff. Whatever it is, there's always a reason, and it's always bad.
Yeah.
And I look at stuff like the new Switch controllers.
Yes.
And it's like, okay, this is interesting. The stuff with rolling it is interesting. But I look at Mario Odyssey and I'm like, that was the shit that pissed me off.
Yeah.
That's why I haven't finished Mario Odyssey, is because I rage quit because the motion controls were awful.
And that's the shit that bothered me the most in this, is all of their stuff went, like all the stuff with the mouse and a lot of the other things went back to the old Nintendo, which was like, this shit is super gimmicky.
It's a gimmick. That's what Kelly said. We were looking at the wheelchair basketball game and we were
Dude,
like,
that looks horrible.
oh, I thought it looked cool. I thought it looked dope as hell, except that you have this stupid system by which you have to play it.
Exactly. And I saw, do you know Austin Evans? He's a YouTuber.
No.
He's awesome YouTuber. He does all these videos, and he went and he said doing that game was it would like hurt.
Yeah.
Because you're like trying to move and you're shaking, and he was like, dude, that was not.
Exactly. Like, as soon as I saw that there was a gimmick mode for it, I was like, so I'm not going to play it.
No.
Because it looks cool, and I would love to play a cool basketball robot game. I'm not going to play it if the whole thing is like ARMS, where you have to do this.
Yeah.
And you have to do this. And I'm not going to do that.
Yep.
That's why I can't finish Mario Odyssey. Because you put me in this corner and you won't let me out, so I'm just not going to play your game.
Yeah. And I'll be honest, when they showed the screen, and they're like, oh, our new LCD screen. As soon as they showed that, I grabbed my OLED. I have the OLED Switch.
Yeah.
Pulled it out, pulled up Xenoblade Chronicles X, which I'm still playing, and Xenoblade Chronicles X is fucking phenomenal. Play it. So I'm playing it. The screen on the OLED looked better than the screen they showed for the Switch 2.
Yeah.
Like, the colors, the contrast, everything looked better.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, so everything you showed me in this Direct, and you didn't tell me a price, and then they told us a price. Well, they told us the pre-tariff price.
Yes.
Let's signal that. So it's $450 for the base model, $500 for the bundle. But they canceled pre-orders because there's a 46% tariff right now on Vietnam, where the system comes from. And a YouTuber did the math based on some Japanese numbers that the Switch is probably $300 to manufacture. And the tariff is on that. So a 46% tariff on that would be $150, which would make this $600, like you said. And you're like, dude, this is PS3. Nintendo is great because they make their systems affordable for families. Yeah. Even at $450, I looked at my son, and even he said, my son, who is gaga over this shit, said, I don't understand like this Direct. He was not blown away by one thing in this Direct. And he goes, why would we need another Switch?
Yeah. It doesn't even feel like the Switch is game. Like, when you are touting that you have a C button now, and that the C button is just to bring up the chat. That's all it does.
Yeah.
That's nothing.
No.
That's nothing. And they spend several minutes on it, talking about it like it's some great new feature.
Yeah.
That is nothing, man.
That is a great feature from 15 years ago with some systems.
And like that was my thing. Was I was watching it, I was like, so this is like the PlayStation 1 or whatever it was, the Kinect. And
well, no, that was the 360.
But you know what I mean, whatever, the weird wands that the PlayStation
the
had,
PS3 and the 360. Yeah, the
Yeah.
PlayStation Eye. Yeah, exactly.
And it's like, this sucks.
Yeah.
And it looks like the Eye.
Dude.
Which came out in 2008.
That looks so like everything about, and the camera, the fucking camera being $50.
Oh my God.
The Pro controller's $80. The extra Joy-Cons is $90. The games range from $70 to $80. And someone brought up a good point about Mario Kart. If that's $80, and then they release Grand Theft Auto 6 at $80, what the fuck, Nintendo?
Yeah.
You can't tell me, because you can't. I mean, everyone knows Grand Theft Auto 6 is going to be this unbelievable, just cultural phenomenon. And that's probably going to be $80.
Yeah. Well, but Nintendo's been doing this. You can go to secondhand stores, and they still sell fucking GameCube and
Oh, yeah.
Wii U and Switch, early Switch games for full price.
Yep.
You want to buy Mario Party 4 for the GameCube? Hope you have $65 because it hasn't dropped a single cent.
Once again, I am right now completely balls deep in Xenoblade Chronicles X.
Yeah.
And after that, I still have a ton of great RPGs and beautiful looking games that I got to play on my Switch. And it's like, this did not show me why I need a new Switch.
That was like, they got to the Donkey Kong stuff. And this was, again, this just shows all the problems I have with this. I want to be excited about this. I want to be excited about a cool new 3D world, Donkey Kong, that incorporates elements of 2D, and it's all fun. What the fuck did you do to my boy's face?
Dude.
What did you do to my boy's face?
Dude.
He was fine.
His eyes are so fucked up.
What did you do?
His eyes are so fucked up.
Why did you do this? Why this?
I don't get it.
And it's like how you can't stop changing his voice.
Yeah.
You had it. You had the whole look. By the end of the 90s, you had the look, the voice, the whole thing, and then you spend the next 20 years like the Browns being like, oh, we have a quarterback, but maybe we could get a better version.
Yeah.
Or you just stick with Baker Mayfield and you just ride it out.
Yeah.
Stick with the Donkey Kong you have. You don't need to reinvent him because I don't know if you noticed, you've reinvented him 3 times now.
And especially if anyone hasn't played Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze, that game is spectacular. And I think it looks better than this fucking game that they showed. And it's like, why fuck with that?
Yeah.
And everyone has just been asking for a new Donkey Kong Country game. We're like, we're going to give you something different. It's like, we're not going to give you what you want. We're going to give you something different. That's going to be kind of like the Donkey Kong version of Mario Odyssey. And it's like, okay.
Yeah, it's not really what I want.
But like, I looked at this whole thing and I'm sitting next to my son watching this direct, who still has no idea for his birthday he's getting a PS5. He is getting a brand new digital edition PS5 Slim, so the brand new version with the Fortnite package. So Fortnite is a free-to-play game, but it comes with like $50 worth of Fortnite stuff, like the skins and all that. I got it for $375 directly from Sony, brand new. This is $75 more than that. It is a third of the power still of the PS5. It just has a screen. But guess what? And if my wife listened to this, Audrey, I was going to tell you about this. My family asked what should get him, and I've been telling them this stuff, and I said, if you all want to pitch in and get him a PlayStation Portal, he's getting one. So for $75 more than the price of the base Switch, he's getting a PS5 and the Portal, which you can remotely play your PS5 games on, and the screen is spectacular, and everything is great about it now. It's been completely fixed, that it works amazing, and you can go to his friend's house and bring it on, as long as it's on Wi-Fi. For $75 more than this fucking base Switch, he could sit in other rooms and play the PS5 games.
Yeah.
And it's like, why?
Yeah,
I was so frustrated by this. That price is insane.
It's insane. The price is insane. The game price is insane.
So insane.
Somebody did the math on it and was like, so to get the new Souls game, I'm going to have to drop $600.
Yes.
Just to get the Souls game.
Yes.
And that's before tariffs.
And folks like you who are GameCube, and I totally get why you're GameCube crazy, because I did love the GameCube. They also are selling the GameCube thing for like $80, the new GameCube wireless controller, and people will go crazy. I mean, you're going to be $700-800 into this thing, and before you even...
Well, it's the Apple model. Everything has to be proprietary.
Yes.
Everything has to be just our brand.
The new memory cards.
It has to be super fancy, and all of it is insanely expensive.
Yeah. So the micro SD Express cards now, which I looked it up, the 256 gig one is $30 or $40 more than the basic micro SD card. And it's like,
I'm not in for this, man.
It's just so much
like
money.
I'm not seeing enough. I'm not seeing enough. And like maybe this will swing me back, but like when the Switch first dropped, me and Kelly didn't get a Switch until it dropped in 2017. I don't think we got a Switch until almost 2019. And we still played Breath of the Wild and all the other games, but we got them for the Wii U because we were satisfied with the Wii U.
The Wii U was awesome. Underrated.
And I look at the Switch the Switch 2, and it's the exact same problem.
Yeah.
But worse, because all those things that the Switch could say that it could do that the Wii U couldn't do, the Switch already does.
Yeah.
So the Switch 2 doesn't give you that big an upgrade on any of these lines. It's mostly because the games are only going to be made for Switch 2 moving forward. And if you want to have like a phone app that tells you where stuff is in Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, then we have that. There's not anything here that blows my socks off.
Nintendo has been consistently known as a company. Every other company sells their consoles at a loss, and they make up the money on the software.
Yeah.
Nintendo has notoriously never done that. This was their opportunity that they should have done that. If this thing is like $300 to $350 to make, if you made it $349.99, you would sell gazillions.
If you made it $300 and the games are $70,
yeah,
then we can have a conversation.
But like the reason I said $349 is that's what the OLED is right now. It's
Yeah.
like, dude, that is the price.
Yeah.
Like people still bought a ton of OLEDs, and I upgraded to our OLED because that price isn't crazy, especially if you trade in your old one for get $150. You know, it's not bad. That's $100 less than what this is, and it's like you gotta take the fucking loss, dude.
Yeah.
Because once again, with the tariffs, they're not going to cut it down.
No.
They're going to jack the price, even if supposedly they're in talks with Vietnam and they're going to maybe lower that. It's still going to go up by $50 at least.
Yeah.
So you're looking at $500 and $550 for the. It's like $500 for a fucking Switch. Are you kidding me? This is a family console.
Yeah.
This is made for families.
This is supposed to be the cheap alternative.
Yes.
That where it's built on the characters and the games and the nostalgia of it instead of the big beefy.
And the Switch is proven because, once again, this is the first system that I have played it this far into its life cycle as my main system to play. Because I do play Fortnite on the Xbox, but the main like hardcore games I'm playing right now are on the Switch. 8 years later. Never had them on the other console. So it's like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah. I don't get this.
This doesn't make any fucking sense. It's not a Nintendo thing.
No.
Why are you trying to compete? Like, it seems like they're really trying to compete with the... I know it's the Steam Deck, but then there's the Ally something.
Yeah.
I know there's all these other fancied PC things. It's like, dude, you're not known for your hardware. You're known for your fucking software. I am blown away every time I log into Xenoblade Chronicles X because it is this massive open world game, and even when there are loading, there's no more than a 2-second load.
Yeah.
On this massive, awesome game playing on the most outdated of fucking hardware.
Yeah.
And it's like, because you are magicians at making games work.
Well, that's why everything is a gimmick with Nintendo. Because that's the selling point.
Yes.
Is like, okay, we're not Xbox and we're not PlayStation. You can't play DVDs and Blu-rays and 4K and all these other things. We don't have this and we don't have this. But
yeah,
we are mobile. We have motion control 20 years before anybody else does. Our stuff always works. Sony's motion control is going to be janky at best for years.
Yeah.
The Kinect is going to have like 3 generations before it actually fucking works. Nintendo comes out of the box and it works.
Yeah.
That's your whole thing.
Yeah.
But now you're also saying, but since we put in beefier components, it's also going to cost more.
Yeah.
But the beefier components still don't measure up to everybody else on the
Not even
market.
close.
So it's not really like you put beefy components in. It's like you got where you needed to be at market.
Yep.
Like you can't sell what you were selling in market anymore because it's too outdated. So now you're saying, oh, but we're not outdated anymore. No. You are. But you're outdated up to the modern now.
Yeah.
You're not hilariously outdated.
Yeah.
When they said you can now play Zelda in HD, I was like, I just kind of assumed I had been. I hadn't really thought that I'd been playing in an SD, but now that you mention it and I see it in HD, I can see the difference.
Yeah.
So I guess, yeah, the whole time I have been playing in SD.
It just doesn't. And that's the thing, though. They make those games that, like you said, you thought you were playing in HD because they make them in a way that it's like, okay, I don't need it to be photorealistic.
Yeah.
It looks beautiful. Like, I still remember the first time I played Wind Waker on the GameCube. I'm like, this is gorgeous.
Yeah.
That Metroid Prime, you're like, how is this running? It looks amazing. And that's because Nintendo does that. But
Yeah.
now they're like, meh. It's this new leadership. It's like,
That's what I was going to say, is that Kelly brought up when we were watching the Direct that this is the first period, this is the first changeover where everybody who was around when Nintendo was founded is pretty much gone.
Yeah.
Miyamoto is there in name only,
Yep.
and everybody else is gone.
because the two bigs were Iwata, who died, and Reggie Fils-Aimé, who left Nintendo.
Yeah.
But the two of them were the major components at launch of the Switch, and then gone.
Yeah.
And it's noticeable. It's depressing. It's sad. But the reason I said it was the PS3 moment, if everyone remembers, the PS2 became the number one selling system in the world, which now the Switch is going to become. And then they released the PS3 at $600 and told people just get a second job.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what Nintendo's saying with this. Just get a second job. It's like, dude,
You can find a way.
that's not what you're supposed to do.
No.
When PS3 did that, you said, fuck you, we're going to put out a system a third of the cost called the Wii, and it's going to look like shit, but it's going to be so much fucking fun to play that people won't give a shit.
People won't care.
No.
And it becomes a stylization. You know, I remember anybody who watches Doug, great YouTuber, he has a whole thing where he talks about Red Dead Redemption versus Breath of the Wild. And he says, does Breath of the Wild have the same graphical ability and look as Red Dead? Absolutely not. But that's part of the charm.
Yes.
You don't want it to have that graphical look and capability. Part of the charm is that it looks cel-shaded and everything.
And that's what I've noticed about most modern games. They look beautiful. They might have great gameplay. I just don't have a lot of fun playing them.
No.
But Nintendo games, I can still have fun with those.
I think it's huge, still a huge testament. I still review Pokemon Violet as a solid C. I didn't quit playing that game.
Yeah, it was still fun.
I still kept playing it despite the glitches and the problems and the issues and every other thing and the bad story and the boring writing and all this other stuff. I was like, the lack of costumes. I was like, yeah, all this stuff sucks and it's annoying and I don't like it. I'm going to keep playing the game though.
Yeah, because it was fun.
Because it's fun. God help you. So
Okay, so now we got to have a little downer
let's
moment.
not talk about fun for a second.
Okay, we're talking about the late great Val Kilmer, who passed away this week at 65, I believe he was. It's not really that big a surprise, even though a lot of people, he had throat cancer a few
had some
years,
serious health
2017, 15,
Something
something like that. And he's had some really bad health issues, but like I've seen recent videos of him, and like supposedly he's been getting better, but he got pneumonia, and his body was so torn down, he just couldn't take it, and he passed away. It really, like, there's a lot of sadness I feel when certain celebrities and actors that I grew up with died. Like Gene Hackman sucked when he died.
That's
and it was
still a weird one too.
It was a weird situation, but it was like, yeah, it's terrible, and I feel bad. Val Kilmer hit me hard because I really started thinking about the movies he did.
Yeah.
And the moments that I grew up with him. Like I remember one of my first movies that I saw by myself in the theater was Willow.
I was going to bring up Willow.
Mad Mardigan.
Mad
Mardigan
Mardigan
is one of the greatest characters ever.
Mad Mardigan is a legend in my parents' house.
Oh, yeah.
Growing up and moving forward, he is one of my favorite characters.
Oh, he's so great.
Nothing will ever be as great as Willow being, you are a great swordsman.
And him flipping the sword and then
falls
falling.
over.
Which is so awesome. It's like, that's how you do humor.
Yeah.
But
I love Mad Mardigan. The whole, I can take your baby.
Yeah.
Let me take the baby.
It's so great.
It's so good.
And it's like, you saw what I loved about that character and being my first, visualization of Val Kilmer is that was everything about Val Kilmer. He was gorgeous. He was a beautiful hunk of man.
Yeah.
He could do the physicality. He could do the humor and the charm better than anybody. He was funny. He was insanely charming.
Well, I go back to Real Genius.
Well, we were going to talk about that too, yeah.
Because, I find the lead in Real Genius to be very boring.
Yes.
He's so boring. I don't even remember his name. But Val Kilmer in Real Genius is so great.
Yes.
And he is why you watch that movie. There's a reason why he's on the cover and not the other
Well,
guy.
one of my friends, one of my best friends, who Real Genius is like his favorite movie ever, sent me a thing from Brian Grazer who said they weren't going to make him this character. And after his audition, he waited in the waiting room. And when Grazer got in the elevator, he got in the elevator with him. And the whole time, he didn't say anything. He just did that quarter thing on his hands, on both hands, the entire time. And Grazer said, this is him.
Yeah.
And
He's the guy.
It's, oh my God.
The scene where he freezes the hallway.
Yes.
So that they can ice skate. It's just so charming. When he blows up the guy's house with popcorn
Chris
and the
Knight
sun.
is his character, Chris Knight.
With popcorn in the sun.
Yes.
Oh my God.
It's so great. And that's the great thing is like, after I saw Willow, and I'm like, who is this guy? The next two movies I saw of his was Top Secret,
which I was about to talk
Very
about.
underrated movie.
See,
and then Real Genius.
with the Naked Gun coming out and everything with Val Kilmer, I was like, I gotta watch Top Secret because I've never seen it, but I've seen clips like the underwater bar fight,
which was filmed in reverse to make it look. Yeah. No, that wasn't filmed in reverse. The when they were speaking Swedish.
Yeah,
that whole scene was just them talking English, but it's filmed in reverse.
Yeah,
which was fucking
so like
awesome.
I really want to watch it because every clip I've seen is hilarious.
It is. And not only is it hilarious, but they were talking. He sings his own, like he plays a rock star.
I've never seen it.
He plays a rock star in it, like an American, like Beach Boys type rock star. He sings all the songs, and his singing is incredible. But then even his dancing and it's like, dude, this guy's fucking amazing.
Yeah. Well, I also got to see him in The Doors for the exact same reason.
Oh, dude.
Yeah. This is what I'm saying.
Doors is great.
Yeah.
They interviewed the members of the Doors, and they said they didn't like the movie, but he was so eerily exactly what Jim Morrison was.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I've heard, is that he embodied Jim Morrison to the point where people couldn't tell the difference.
But that's the thing, his serious acting was so good, but his comedic, like we talked about Top Secret and Real Genius, Kiss Kiss Bang Bang.
Oh my God, Kiss Kiss Bang Bang.
He is so fucking funny in that movie.
If you look up the definition of an idiot in the dictionary, you know what you'll see? Me? No! The definition of the word idiot, which you are.
Yeah. No, which you so fucking are. But Gay Perry is so great. And it's like, you look at those movies and then, I keep forgetting as I'm talking about all those great movies and thinking about him. Heat, he was amazing.
Heat? He was like
Tombstone.
A quiet part of Heat. I gotta watch Tombstone. I've never seen Tombstone.
He's absolutely incredible. Ghost in the Darkness, which is very underrated.
I wanted to see that because the poster draws me in. It's like that and Manhunter. I see the posters for these movies and I'm like, I kind of want to watch these movies.
I'll be honest, Manhunter, I kind of like Red Dragon better, which is a retelling of Manhunter. I kind of like that better.
Yeah.
But yeah, Ghost in the Darkness is so ridiculously underrated. His role as Batman can kind of give and take.
There was a lot of complicated feelings in that one.
And I know I haven't mentioned Top Gun. It's not one of my favorite movies.
He's a side note in Top Gun.
Yeah, very much so.
He doesn't even get to be the most gay character in Top Gun.
No, not even close.
He gets to do the one thing where he bites at Tom Cruise's face. And that's like it. That's the gayest thing he gets to do.
Yeah. I mean, he was part of the shirtless volleyball game.
He was, but he's the guy who has another guy's arm around him. Who's like hanging on him and being like, we're going to win, we're going to fuck these guys, and then we're going to fuck these guys.
Yeah. I do want to point out one movie, and I've been wanting to mention this because I remember my brother and I saw this, and we were it's a quietly good movie called Thunderheart, where he's an FBI agent and he tries to solve a mystery on a Native American reservation.
Oh.
And it's really fucking good.
Interesting.
And it's kind of like Ghost in the Darkness. It's a very under the radar, but it has Sam Shepard, Graham Greene, Fred Ward, Fred Thompson. It's got like this really good cast.
The era when Fred Ward was a big name.
Yes, really big name.
We have gone far from there.
He was also in Naked Gun 33 and the third, so there you go.
There you go.
But yeah, so he's got this filmography. Yes, later in life he kind of pulled the Bruce Willis where he had a lot of direct to DVD.
They all do. They all do.
Even Audrey, my wife, we're big Psych fans, and she's been watching old Psych episodes, and I came in the other day and she goes, last episode I watched, it was Val Kilmer was in it. And I'm like, I remember that episode. Yeah. And it was depressing.
Yeah.
Because I still can't believe he's dead.
I know.
I can't believe he's dead.
And he was such a almost secret weapon.
Yeah.
Like going back to Heat.
Dude.
That movie was like, everybody, when that movie came out, it was De Niro and Pacino.
Yep.
De Niro and Pacino. They are so boring.
Yeah.
But Val Kilmer is fascinating.
Yeah.
Because he's the one that is like an actual legitimate gangster. And everybody else is kind of like, do I want to get out of life? I don't know. Except for Danny Trejo, who is like there in name only and not meaningful to the plot.
That's true.
But like he's always good. He's always so solid to watch. He's always fun.
Yeah.
He always brings a mirth to his roles, and there's just a joy in watching him. I always joke with Kelly when I watch Conan O'Brien, it's like I'm watching someone, committing seppuku or lighting themselves on fire. They seem so upset and despondent about everything that's happening, even as they're just doing comedy. Val Kilmer is the opposite. Val Kilmer, you come in and you always feel like he's bringing life and energy and joy to what you're watching, and it's always fun as a result.
And I have heard this from multiple sources. I still have not know if it's 100% true. He was so good in the heist scene of Heat that people study that for like troop movements.
Yeah.
The way he worked as a unit and the way he was shooting. And you're like, fuck, man.
Yeah.
Like, you're right. He really is the best part of that movie.
Yeah.
And you got to see Tomb. I would say before you see... see Top Secret.
Top Secret.
But before you see anything else, see Tombstone. Because he is so fucking good in Tombstone.
Because those are the three that I'm going to do this week. My watch, play, read for next week is going to be either Moana 2, which is a very real possibility, or a three-peat of Top Secret, Tombstone, and Ghost in the Dark.
Yes. I really hope you do that because you won't be disappointed. So rest in peace, Val Kilmer.
We
love you, man. Thank you for Mad Mardigan above anything else.
Yes.
That is on my Mount Rushmore of favorite fantasy characters ever. So thank you for that.
He